is a study by Amnesty, and here they're telling about the hazards of Twitter. Okay, so in on Twitter, women politicians receive 1 million abusive tweets in 3 months. That's quite a number. And if you actually read on this study, you'll also find out that there's the more intersection you come across, the deeper this misogyny is, the deeper the sexism gets. That is, Muslim women politicians face more flack than anybody else. Women from the so-called lower castes, they face more wrath on Twitter than the upper caste women politicians. And the not so surprising but really disappointing fact is that women who are from non-BJP parties, they are trolled more than women from BJP. And so this goes on. And so while the person who wrote this report contacted both of them, the women who have been facing this abuse, and also women from and also Twitter said that there are all guidelines set, and we protect, we adhere to the guidelines set especially for women. But the women say no, there is no such guideline because I'm continuously abused and trolled for whatever I say on Twitter. That's quite sad. And you'll be surprised to read the next one. Abhi, can you go with the next one? This was in 2016. So when the online trolling had begun and it was a huge thing, that's when Maneka Gandhi said that online trolling against women will be considered violence. And she started actually proposing guidelines that would help in curbing this demon. However, she got trolled, and she got trolled with respect to Rahul Gandhi about, who she is, her background, and she was outraged tremendously. This is the heights of irony. While she's talking about how to curb online trolling, and she gets trolled because of her gender. Next, we also see incidents where it has even got into comedy. Stand-up comedians are not left far behind. So Aditi Mittal, from the time she started doing stand-up comedy, she was told to not be too feminine. She was told be tough. She was told a lot of things in order that she has to be taken seriously rather not seriously, that she needs to become more funny, and she must be as funny as her male counterparts, and that's why she shouldn't do a lot of things, and she has openly admitted to it in this article that you can find. And yeah, so similar to Aditi Mittal, even a comedian, Supriya Joshi, she gets fat shamed. So she does comedy, Aditi Mittal does comedy, their content is about comedy, but the kind of response they get on the internet is about their beauty or the lack of it, or the way they look, their weight, their marital status. So that is the level of sexism that you see. It's not, I mean, people who concentrate on certain work and get going, despite that work and despite that value they bring to the entertainment world or otherwise, they're shamed because of various reasons. The journalists are not left. Next, we have Barkha Dutt. She often, the flag that she faces on Twitter is something that is unimaginable. She also says, in an interview, she's mentioned the kind of names she's given, and then she's also her Wikipedia page keeps changing. Apparently, people go on changing her marital status, the kind of men, and what all and what not. And recently she says it was mentioned that she's twice divorced, and the fact that the community she belongs to, the place she comes from, and her gender play a huge part in the way she's cornered on the internet. Journalists, to say, even celebrities. Abhi, would you like to tell about the next two examples that we have?
Sure. Thank you, Vishala. So this is our famous Bollywood star Deepika, and when one of her video clippings from the movie Chennai Express was put on Twitter, the kind of comment that she received the next day from Times of India is what you can see on the screen. Rather than focusing on the content or the movie, the comment has focused on her body or objectification of her body, where TOI has said it's Deepika's cleavage show. And apparently, when Deepika gave a reply for this, and TOI has said, take it as a compliment. This is one scene where people have forgotten what the content is or what the idea of the whole post or whole tweet is, and gone beyond limits to look at something else from a sexist point of view. Uh, this is Kavita Krishnan. This she has been involved in Delhi in the protests against Article 370, and this is one of her interviews, one of the snapshots from her interviews to The Wire about the protest. So after this interview's video clipping came out, the next day morning when she woke up, she has found a lot of comments and posts on her wall where people have started abusing, not started commenting on how ugly she looks and how black and how tanned she looks. And she has mentioned one of the comments uh, which says that this photo is a proof of how ugly and unbreakable she is. So this is again a case where people have forgotten her work over the protest and her voices against the atrocity, and started focusing on objectifying her.
Absolutely. The cause is always forgotten and then other things are caught on to. Here again, we have an IPS officer, Merin Joseph. So after she got appointed the IPS officer, all that came out was about her beauty. And there was even one listicle, an article written on Daily Bhaskar, which is now taken off, obviously, because Merin Joseph was very vocal about it. 10 most beautiful female IAS and IPS officers in India. So the kind of effort she puts, the kind of strength she has, the kind of mental strength she has, it all goes to the background. And the first story we get to hear is about her beauty, because women is equal to beauty is the kind of notion that is carried on, and that seems to seep into whatever we talk offline or online. So after seeing this, I was just wondering that, is it the same with men? Because we're talking about online sexism, and let's do some research, is what I thought. So, next, what I did is I Googled the same thing. Abhi, can you show the next slide? So, 10 most handsome male IAS and IPS officers in India. This is honestly what I Googled. And you see the first thing that appears is from Quora. So Quora has opinions. So I won't consider that as much. Even if you look at the list, there's Asra, Rupa, Sanjukta. These names are there, and Sri Lekha. So I don't know, that result really isn't valid. But if you see below, there's one headline that says Sachin Atulkar is India's fittest, most handsome IPS officer. I went through this, and it was more like a publicity thing for him, where all his pictures of working out, being at the gym and everything was put up. Quite similar. But still, my search was about 10 most handsome male IAS and IPS officers in India. So that didn't appear. Honestly, that didn't appear. So I was wondering, so are there no handsome IAS, IPS officers, or don't we look at that when it comes to men? I'll leave that thought to you. So the next slide, let me just show what is written about Sachin Atulkar though, and before that, there's also below that, okay, the headline that you just saw, you'll see here all videos of women officers, and I don't have to explain what these videos look like and what kind of focus is given in the thumbnails itself. Yeah. So next, I'd like to show Sachin Atulkar, what was written. IPS officer Sachin Atulkar is giving Bollywood actors a huge fitness and style complex. This is different from what is written about women, at least subtly different. Sure, you can share your thoughts when we have the speakers can share their thoughts about this while they're speaking, and the rest of you definitely please do share your thoughts about what you think about these differences that come about. Yes, so that was about the kind of sexism that we see online. We took these examples from we restricted ourselves to the Indian context, because the kind of movement that's going on in India is a little different from what's going on in rest of other parts of the world. Not that it's too different, but it's in a different stage, and we thought it's much relatable because we all come from a similar culture which we have understood where to unlearn, what to unlearn. So we would be able to relate better to the kind of attitude or behavior that we see online about towards women or towards any other gender. So yes, here we are with this edition. We spoke about what we sort of have an idea about online sexism. Let's take the conversation forward. And we have 4 speakers today who will be talking about their experiences, their thoughts, their perspectives, and a lot more. So let's welcome our speakers, Nitya, Anmol, Pranjal, and Khushi. A very warm welcome to our edition. So this is how it usually goes. You get about 6 to 8 minutes to share your thoughts about our theme. After which the next speaker follows, and after all 4 speakers have spoken, we'll have the audience interacting with you.